In the heart of Nigeria's ancient Benin Kingdom, a man rose from the gutters of poverty to become the most feared criminal in modern Nigerian history. His name was Lawrence Nomanyagbon Anini, the man the newspapers called the Law. Lawrence Nomanyagbon Anini was born around 1960 in Oluwole, Ovia Northeast Local Government Area, near Benin City, Edo State. He grew up in a period when Nigeria was facing major political and economic changes. The oil boom had just begun, but for many families like his, poverty still defined daily life. Anini was a bright child, street smart and sharp-minded. He attended primary school, but dropped out early. He quickly learned that survival in Benin's rough neighborhoods required more than intelligence. It required cunning, connections, and courage. As a teenager, he became a bus conductor, working on the busy Benin-Warri route. It was during this period that Anini began mingling with petty criminals, touts, and car snatchers. By his early 20s, he had mastered the art of pickpocketing, car theft, and fraud. But Anini was not just an ordinary street criminal, he was ambitious. He wanted to control Benin City's underground world. The 1980s in Nigeria were a time of military rule, economic hardship, and corruption. The police were underpaid and untrusted. This environment gave Anini room to grow. He soon connected with other notorious criminals, Monday Osunbor, Henry Ekpanwan, Friday Ofege, and his deadly right-hand man, Monday Osunbor. Together, they formed one of Nigeria's most organized and ruthless gangs. Anini's gang specialized in armed robbery, car hijacking, and bank raids. They became known for their boldness, attacking banks in broad daylight, ambushing police patrols, and even blocking highways to rob entire convoys. Unlike most robbers, Anini developed a Robin Hood image among the people. He often distributed part of his loot to poor market women and taxi drivers. Many locals began to see him as a hero who stood up against corrupt police officers and politicians. What made Anini's reign so terrifying was not just his ruthlessness, but his connection to the police. Unknown to the public, several police officers were secretly working for him. He paid them to leak information about police patrol routes and investigations. One of his closest allies within the police force was Inspector George Iyamu, a decorated officer who fed Anini sensitive intelligence in exchange for cash. With this inside help, Anini's gang seemed untouchable. Every police operation against him failed before it began. He became so powerful that people said, even the police fear Anini. Between 1984 and 1986, Anini's name struck fear across Bendel State, now Edo and Delta states. He was no longer a petty thief, he was now a national crisis. His gang robbed banks, police stations, and transport companies. They killed officers, raided convoys, and sprayed bullets through the streets. He was famous for his speed, often escaping in stolen cars faster than the police could chase. One of the most shocking events was when Anini's men shot and killed a police officer right in front of a crowd in Benin City. He also wrote taunting letters to newspapers and police authorities, boasting about his power and daring them to catch him. The media called him the Law, a man who ruled the streets by his own code. In 1986, fear reached its peak. Every robbery, every shooting, every shadow in Benin's dark corners was blamed on Anini. Newspapers screamed headlines like, "Anini strikes again. Who will stop the law?" Even the then head of state, General Ibrahim Babangida, asked his Inspector General of Police, Edem Inyang, a famous question during a cabinet meeting. "My friend, where is Anini?" By late 1986, the pressure was unbearable. The Nigerian police launched a massive manhunt led by Superintendent Kayode Uwan-Maroro of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad. Anini's luck finally ran out on December 3, 1986. Acting on a tip-off, the police stormed a house in Benin City's Ihama area where Anini was hiding with his girlfriend. As they broke in, Anini attempted to escape through the back door, but it was too late. A bullet shattered his leg. He fell, screaming in pain as the officers surrounded him. When they dragged him out, he was bleeding heavily, but alive. Newspapers the next morning displayed his image with a broken leg, a fallen king of crime. Soon after, his right-hand man, Monday Osunbor, was also captured. Anini's trial was one of the most followed events in Nigeria's history. The court sessions were packed with journalists, police officers, and curious citizens who wanted to see the man who terrorized the nation. During interrogation, Anini confessed to multiple robberies and killings. He also exposed several corrupt police officers, including Inspector George Iyamu, who had been helping him all along. Iyamu was later tried, convicted, and executed as well. Anini's once dreaded voice became weak as he sat in court, now paralyzed from his gunshot wound. His legend crumbled as the truth came out. His empire had been built on blood, fear, and betrayal. After months of trial, the Bendel State High Court sentenced Lawrence Anini and several members of his gang to death by firing squad. On March 29, 1987, at the Bar Beach in Lagos, Anini, Osunbor, and others were executed publicly. The same crowd that once whispered his name in fear now watched his end in silence. Even decades after his death, the name Lawrence Anini remains legendary in Nigerian history. To some, he was a villain, a murderer who caused terror and sorrow. To others, he was a symbol of rebellion, a man who stood against a corrupt system that failed the poor. His story remains a chilling reminder of how poverty, corruption, and power can turn an ordinary man into a national nightmare. He was born a man, lived like a king, and died like a warning. In the heart of Benin City, whispers of Anini's ghost still roam the streets, a legend of fear, greed, and power. He ruled the roads like a god, until the law finally caught the law himself.